Once upon a time, there was a little girl who discovered a pile of comics at her cousin's house. She read these comics and fell in love with the main character. He was awkward, shy, had glasses, but then he turned out to be Superman. Hello, I am Sean Rose, and welcome to France 24's interview with me, Joumana Haddad, who actually is the author of Superman is an Arab. She's a journalist and a poet. Joumana Haddad, hello, welcome at France 24's interview. Why were you disappointed when you discovered that Superman was actually, Ken Clark was actually Superman?
Well, because simply I was much more attracted to the character of Clark Kent. He seemed much more credible to me. He was shy, he had weak points, he was more human in a way. And then every time he became Superman, I was turned off by the character of this guy who could listen, who could hear better than us, think better than us, and save the world. And it became more and more evident during the course of my life that what the world needed was less Superman and more Clark Kent, which means that men needed to be more reconciled with their real nature, with their, vulnerability, and less prone to act as superheroes all the time.
But do you think that is very specific to Arab society and the Arab world, to have these men? And the cover is great. This man with, man with his Superman-like T-shirt under his shirt. Do you think that is specific to these societies, and why?
Well, to tell you the truth, when I started writing the book, I was convinced that we were a society and a culture of Superman. But then when the book was out, I received letters from different parts of the world, telling me, well, you know what, Superman is also American, he's also British, he's also Italian, etc., which proves that this problem is still there in many parts of the world. We're still not done with the patriarchal society, with this macho way of viewing the world, and I think it is tiring not only for women but also especially for men. This is why I speak in this book about the need to reinvent masculinity, because men also need to start, interpreting this so-called virility in a much more positive way. All these negative synonyms of being a man, the aggressiveness, the violence, the oppression of women, is not doing them any good. And they need to start realizing that being able to show your weak side, being able to be truer to yourself, can be a much more enriching experience than having to pretend all the time that you're the strongest person in the whole world.
Well, this is a feminist stance, and you kind of wage a kind of feminist jihad against these macho men and the macho mentality. But don't you think, and it's what you say, that often these societies don't change so much because of women?
I am definitely, first of all, I would rather not use the word jihad, because I'm completely against these, religious connotations and interpretations.
With inverted commas, it was.
Exactly, I know. But actually, I'd rather define myself as a post-feminist, and this is why I speak about the need to, win men as allies in this war that we are trying to wage, in this struggle that we are trying to achieve, for a more equal world. I think men are important, allies, and as much as there are men who would like to be there next to women, to defend women's rights, women's role, women's voice, there are also many women who are their own worst enemies, and we need to start realizing that, instead of just, labeling the man as the enemy. There is a difference between a man and a macho, and men themselves need to realize that, but women also need to realize that they are sometimes as patriarchal, if not more, than men.
Yes,
there are many women.
It's an answer to their own oppression. Sometimes mothers, or mothers-in-law will become very oppressive because they themselves suffered the oppression.
Yeah, but you only need a little bit of awareness in order to come out and liberate yourself from this vicious circle. I always talk to mothers about the importance of educating your kids in a different way. You know, not educate your daughters to keep on being tameable and tamed, and not educate your sons to keep on being misogynist and discriminative towards women. It's very important. It all starts at home. It all starts with the education.
And education, unfortunately, for you as an atheist, is very religious in that part of the world. So you also say, other disastrous inventions, and you have a poem because you're a poet on the fact that you're actually an atheist. And why do you think that God or religion is so negative?
I think, first of all, I would like to say that I had quite a religious education myself. I mean, I went to a non-school for 14 years. My mother used to drag me to Mass every Sunday, and the sisters at school as well. So it was more or less this education or this friction with religion from a close distance, which allowed me to really question myself on all those concepts that we come to inherit without, asking any questions, as if they were, basic, truths. And I believe that after having studied the three monotheist religions, I believe that all three monotheist religions are discriminative towards women. Let's just start by the way it all begins. The woman is just a rib. She's just a tiny part of the mass of Adam. And this explains a lot. And then in the texts and in the practice, there is so many people today talk about Islam and how discriminative it is, but we shouldn't also forget the patriarchy of the Catholic Church, for example, or of some Jewish traditions. And I have spoken about all these things in the book in order to say that real feminism needs at least a secular environment in order to really flourish. And this is what we lack in the Arab world, this separation between religion and state. We need to do that as a first step towards a real change in our part of the world.
Because if society changes, you can see other people changing. I mean, even religious, people changing. I mean, accepting like some in the Protestant or in the Anglican Church, you have a women priest for the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a change, that's because of the influence, perhaps, of the secular society.
Yeah, I really look forward to the day when there will be women priests or a woman pope or women sheikhs, but I think we will have to wait a lot. As an atheist, I do not believe that this system can be reformed from the inside. I believe we really need to liberate ourselves from this poisoning way of interpreting and living our lives, because with all due respect to people who need religion and who are believers, I believe that the dignity of the human being cannot, especially the dignity of the woman, but also the dignity of the human being in general, it cannot be harmonious with the teachings of monotheism.
Yes, but, you're against marriage. That's one, awful institution, you said, or disastrous invention. Men, invented to keep women, under their rule. And what do you think about this, what is happening in Europe at the moment, in France and in England, in Britain, about gay marriage? I mean, do you think would you be for gay marriage?
That, like you said, I don't think that marriage is an institution that works. That's my, essential stand about marriage. But I believe in love. I believe in relationships. I believe in equal rights for everybody. So I really resent homophobia. So I do believe that if there is a marriage, then it should be there for everybody. And this reminded me of the fight that we are, doing in Lebanon today for the acceptance of civil marriage. We cannot even have a civil marriage in Lebanon. Everything is run by religion. You can either have the option of of having a Christian marriage or a Muslim marriage. Everything, all our affairs as citizens are run by the different religions that we have, and we are 18 different communities. So I'm fighting for civil marriage, because at least it would help give certain awareness, a certain civil awareness, and an awareness of citizenship to people.
So you're not talking about civil marriage, you're not even talking about gay marriage, so let alone gay marriage. I think that will not happen very soon.
I wrote in the book that I believe, talking about single mothers, I wrote that I think that time travel would be possible before, single moms would be accepted respectfully in the Arab world, and I think that gay marriage as well. So there's a long road to go, but this doesn't mean that we shouldn't keep on fighting for the things that we believe in, and that, keep on protecting and maintaining the dignity of the human being.
Joumana Haddad, thank you so much for your being here with us. Superman is an Arab is a fascinating book, really very, very exciting, with poetry as well, because you're a poet, and it's not just a dry essay, a feminist essay. Thank you for watching the interview on France 24. Stay tuned for more news.